Okay, we should be good. Okay, welcome to Live Scribbles with Jonathan. A half hours late. Sounds about good. Apologize again, everybody in the room. Normally we would get this party started a half hour earlier, but computer difficulties, I guess. I don't know what was going on with live stream, but anyway, we're gonna be here for the next hour, and we're good to go. So to start off the normal top, you can check out my website, my work at jonathanrector.com. I will say too, what I'm going to try to do, I just noticed this on my computer, is like after you stream, it leaves like a small condensed version of that on your hard drive. So what I'm going to try to do is upload that onto YouTube as well, because I know there's a lot of people that watch my stuff on YouTube. So if you're watching the pre-recorded version either on live stream or if you're watching it from YouTube, awesome. Let me know what you think, and maybe we can get you into the next one. And normally, I have a gentleman that has been with me here for about a week now, and that's Eric. He was here. You guys couldn't hear him, unfortunately. Normally, we just bring him in with the Skype call, but again, that's the big problem that wasn't working as well. And Tristan showed up for the last one, and again, I apologize to you two guys for, at least thanks for coming out, and unfortunately, I don't know, we'll get this started. Not to ramble too much, but basically, again, just to give you guys a little heads up what the point of the show is. This show is meant for you guys and girls out there that are watching. If you guys have a making comics question, or if you guys would like me to draw something for you, if you're having trouble with something of yours, if you'd like a critique, feel free to throw it into the chat. I'll do my best to help you guys out. But until then, I'm just going to be working on my own stuff. So if you guys just want to sit back and watch, that's cool too. Or like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to throw them into the chat and see if we can get them going for you. And if you guys can't make it to the live streams, you guys are stuck here watching the recorded versions, that's cool too. Send me a message and let me know that you'd like to watch it on live stream or something, and I'll see if we can get that going for you. And oh, you're welcome, Rempa. So what I'm going to be working on here is just another page for the standard, normal that comic project that I've been working on forever. Basically brought in a thumbnail here right in the Manga Studio, and then we made our panel rulers, so knocked everything out, get your gutters going. That's what's so cool about Manga Studio, is you can actually make these panel rulers, and look at that, it's like totally rastered out, almost looks vector, and it gives you your gutters and everything. Just gonna lower the opacity. Brought the thumbnail in and made it a little bit bigger, and now we're just gonna go over top here and just kind of tighten up the artwork a little bit. And we'll just make a new layer here. These kinds of shots here are pretty cool. Really get to push your anatomy and stuff like that with foreshortening. You got like straight down views and stuff. Whoops. Actually, let me just turn on the perspective here. Oops. I'm just going to make it so that he's actually in perspective. Cool. Okay. Usually when I do a shot like this, or whatever we're working in like extreme foreshortening, I tend to try to draw whatever's in front of us first, which would essentially be his head, but whatever's the biggest body part. So, we'll get his chest cavity in here. Really, when you're this high up, there's going to be a lot of sharp points, like right here for his upper torso, and then a lot of round shapes as well. Now, the reason why I threw that perspective in there is what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a leg here. Hopefully it'll look alright. The perspective, might have to play around with it a little bit. And since we have the perspective in there, you can just line this stuff up. So I know his leg's supposed to go here to reach that knee, and his foot hits here, but the calf's going to hit here, and then his foot goes in there. So when you zoom out, it just pushes things into perspective a little bit like that. In this whole scene here, we've got the main character, the standard, and he's finally coming face to face with one of the, I guess you'd call him like an anti-hero of the story, the corpse. And he's giving him a proposition here to like maybe work together or something like that to help solve one of the mysteries that's going on. So the standards here is, you know, like a lot of the stories that go along with the corpse is like he'll murder people, he'll do all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you necessarily call him like a hero in that case. He'll kill bad guys, but he'll kill them. He won't put them in jail. So it's definitely not the way the standard works. So I'm gonna be a little bit pensive. So I'm just gonna, you know, bring his back out a little bit more so he's kind of leaning forward, kind of on edge a bit. Get his neck in there. Definitely have something going on with his arms. Trying to figure this out here. Flip it here just so we can see what it looks like there. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to actually, even though I already did all that work, I'm just going to get rid of this lag, just bring it forward a little bit, just to give him a little different of a stance. You know, if he's on edge, he's probably not going to be standing totally straight up here. And we got the corpse's cape going there, so we're going to do the opposite here with the standards cape. Maybe we'll blow it this way. Try to get the eye going across again. And we got the fanciness over there. Okay, so let's get same thing basically for the corpse over here. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the standard. Got this really cool cowl, and I'll be honest with you guys, this kind of shot I'm going to pretty much abuse and not really have to worry about drawing his body in there. As long as it sort of works with the perspective, we'll be alright. Maybe we'll have his like hand clenching his cloak a little bit, but just to get that extra movement going, just to show that's the direction he was going in. I like it. Question in capitals from Turtleman 5000. How do you come up with the compositions for them panels? Any books you recommend? Books. What kind of books? I did pick up maybe 2 years ago now. It's like, what is his name? I'm gonna get made fun of from forgetting his name. What is Scott McCloud? What's the book there? Making Comics. It's got some really good things to talk about there. Other than that, really just read comics. Actually have more of a critical eye when you watch movies or cartoons, not really TV shows, but things that are more cinematic in nature, where, you know, like in a TV show they really don't show pans and they don't really show too much zooms. It's just kind of like static shots. But essentially, you know, people read from the top, in America anyway, top left to the bottom right. So things that can sort of go in that direction. So really quickly, let me just turn off what I was drawing. And I'll just, where are we going here? Turn the opacity up so you can see what I was drawing here. So in this first panel right here, if you can see, I have a lot of the perspective is actually bringing you like from the top left to the right, and I'm even trying to get a circular motion going on in the middle so that your eye will kind of go to the right. And then there's a big explosion on this last panel here. You know, nothing is really bringing you back down to this, but you know, so you can't always get what you'd like to do, right? Like there's a lot of shots that you could try. You know, I suppose go in here and change this panel up right here, maybe another different shot just to maybe be underneath of him so the explosion and the lines are still coming down this way. Then down here we've got like the composition for this is we've got the trees at the top framing the whole panel. And you know, we got the standard down here framing it as well. Let me just turn that blue so you can see what I'm drawing. We got him down here framing it, and he's looking at the gravestone as well, so it's going to push your eye this way. Here our composition is very similar. We've got the trees framing everything. I've got a giant tombstone in the front that's going to help frame as well, basically to bring your eyes all into here. the perspective's all going that way as well, right? Plus he's leading your eye that way too. And here we just have the standard walking out, but his eyes are going to the next panel, and then his eyes are going to be looking down at the next panel, and then here it's more of like an establishing shot, but again we've got the big truck on the other side of the composition there that's getting you off the page. So what I'm trying to do anyway with this stuff is just have everybody pushing, all the panels pushing over to the right, and every now and then you'll get something like this that'll break it up, just so that, you know, if all your panels are going left to right, you know, up down, the way that I guess most people would agree that they should, people get into a flow, they'll get into a rhythm when they're reading it. But when you do something like this or something to break up that flow, it helps evoke a little bit of an emotion in the reader, whether they're really aware of it or not. I've talked about that quite a bit. If you can break the angle that the reader's expecting, it'll make them feel a little bit more at edge, especially. Or like I said, like an explosion that's happening there. It is an explosion, so it doesn't necessarily have to work with the rest of the panel. What I was thinking of doing as well is probably getting rid of this panel. That way I can have the explosion that he's doing kind of like explode out of all the other panels, just to break it up a bit. And actually, now that we're talking about it, I want to do that right now, just so I don't forget. So we're just going to highlight all that, and we're going to delete it. Clear. There we go. Just to again break it up a little bit there. What's that, Michael? Michael's asking, when you went to the New York Comic Con, what do you think works for showing off your work? Would you recommend vertical displays or horizontal? I'll be honest with you. I don't really know, because when I was at New York, I was with the Comics Tribe stuff to help show this book here, the standard. They were the ones that set up the panel and the booth and all that stuff. I just had to show up and fill a spot to draw. But I basically stayed there the entire time just to draw. I have a big feeling that there's always something positive to having an artist there drawing, because that'll draw people in. A lot of people like to watch people draw. I know there are some people that they don't feel comfortable doing that. But it helps me like strike a conversation and stuff with people as well. And it's an extra angle to lure them in, I guess. But that also gave time for John, the writer, to go out and actually get on the streets and actually tell people what the book was about. I didn't sell the book nearly as hard as he did. He did an excellent job. But to answer your question, I don't know. A lot of people, from what I hear, you know, things like keep it clean, keep your desk clean. So if you try not to have an overabundance of things that you can sell, I hear that works. If your display, let's just say your table's here like this, and this is flat on, and let's just say, hi, here's you. I guess you could kind of think of it like a composition as well. You'd probably want to frame whatever's important, right? So if you're showcasing you, probably have stuff like this, and a lot of people do that, where on here you'd have what you're selling, you know, your books and maybe your prints, and then behind you, if you could afford it or whatever, get like maybe your like, oh, here's the art of Michael, you know, Pritchard. You just have it like right there, and then, you know, that's you, you know, another banner, something like that, and then right here is where you could be drawing and signing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like I'm looking at it totally different, and I don't really know if that would sell. I guess I still have to attend a convention of my own, buy my own table, sit down, and really see if it'll work. Hopefully, and I'll be honest with you guys, once I start production on Squirrel God later this year, I'll actually be able to do something like that. I do have the Jessup King mini comic that I'm doing, and then there's another comic that I'll be releasing called Drudge. That's a 24-page story that I'll be doing right after Jessup King, and then once that's done, then I'll do Squirrel God. I think once I start to have my own volume and stuff like that, then I'll actually be able to help you guys out in that regard. Sorry, Michael, I wish I had a better thing there. Rip the Falcon is asking, is it a good idea to send fan art to the comic books you'd aspire to draw for? Sure. Anybody that's ever gotten fan art from somebody, I mean, that's an awesome feeling. So if it helps your way to show support, I say do it. if you're trying to do it to get work, there's probably better ways to do it. You're probably better off on YouTube. There, I'm starting. When I'll get back to it, I don't know. I slacked on it, I think, a little bit. But I was trying to do a pitch to send to IDW to do the Ninja Turtle comic. So I knew a lot of people, they didn't really know what to do with a pitch. So I just wanted to give my little advice on it. And I would personally recommend doing that if you were trying to look for work. If you're just doing it out of admiration and respect, I wouldn't worry about it. Send it away. It'll always make somebody's day. And if you help make somebody's day, then mission accomplished. Yeah, if you can ever hire John Lees to sell your book, I'll tell you right now, it's never a mistake. That man was amazing. Shedrick Jaw says he's heard fan art is a mistake because it shows immaturity. I suppose there's an argument for that. Myself, I don't know. Personally, I think fan art is it's a respect thing as well. You know, it's showing people, like, thank you so much for doing what you do. I enjoy it so much. I wanted to draw you a picture. It's no different than actually sending somebody like a birthday card, right? If you actually drew the birthday card, it's a little bit more, personal. So that's what I'm saying. So if you're sending it, again, out of admiration and stuff like that, who cares? Do it. It'll make somebody's day. But if you're trying to get a job, perhaps, I would not do fan art. No. I would turn that fan art into a comic pitch and go from there. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Yeah, okay. You got it. You got it. Let me just scroll up there. I saw a bunch of things. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of your guys' questions. Cool. Alright, so we're going to try to bend this body up just a little bit. Shield his eyes from that explosion. Maybe we'll give him a big fist here. Definitely going to want to play with his cape. So probably pulling on the cape up here as well. We need more motion. What are we going to do here? Something like that, maybe. And then we'll just bury his face right in here. Alright, let's tighten this up here. So, turn that to blue. We'll make a new layer over top. A pitch would be the easiest way to word it for you, hopefully, would be you're showing your storytelling in comic art to somebody, okay? You're showing them how good you are. You're showing them why you want them to hire you or why you think that you'd be a great addition to the team. So in the case of what I'll be doing, and again, it's on YouTube, at least the first part, it's just showing you getting started. It's not actually showing any art or anything like that, but for the Ninja Turtles, come up with a story that you'd like to tell, and I'm telling you right now, there's going to be no dialogue. What you're sending is your art. So if you want them to hire you to do pencils, inks, colors, lettering, all that stuff, send that. But they're probably not going to hire you to do that. What they're going to send you or tell you to do is submit either inks, pencils, inking, or I think I already said that, colors, lettering, or writing. That's what you're going to send. Most people, if you're here, you're probably going to try to send artwork. So I would either do, if you're doing digital like I do, you can do digital pencils, or you can send in digital inks and see what happens. But essentially just come up with a 3 to 5 page story. Probably going to be pretty action heavy. You're going to want to show what you're good at. So if you're really good at telling action, have a lot of action in it. If you're good at telling like emotion, showing character emotion, show a lot of that. Just make sure you have some things that are standard and stuff in those books. Like, again, for me, I have to draw the Ninja Turtles, so that means I have to draw New York. I'm going to have to draw sewers. And then I'm going to make the Ninja Turtles fight a bad guy. So I chose to do the Rat King. So again, I just have to come up with some designs and stuff like that. But essentially what you're doing is you're just showing them that you can draw, right? And hopefully they like the way you draw, that they might be able to hire you. So think of it along those lines, what you can include to not only just showcase your work, but things that you can show. If you know that there's going to be women that you're going to have to draw, but you're not good at women, you're going to have to draw women. So include them in your pitch. Don't skimp out. Basically, think of it kind of like a resume. That's probably your best way of looking at it. Don't bullshit. Don't try to make them, you know, don't have them look at your stuff and then think you left something out. Like, oh, you know, you draw really awesome cities, but you only drew one city, I guess, and you can never, and it took you forever to do. And these are things that you're gonna find out later. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. All you need to worry about is just to keep it simple. Do a 3 to 5 page story, probably with some action. Tell the story like it could literally be the first page is showing your heroes, the second page, third page, and fourth page is your heroes fighting a villain, and then the fifth page is your heroes defeating the villain or the villain getting away. And you can apply that to any story at all, okay? And then draw that. So what's really cool is you can tell your own thing. Like if you want action heavy explosions and stuff, work it into the story. Think of it more of like the most liberating thing you'll ever have to draw. Or think about it like they just hired you, again for Ninja Turtles, they're hiring me to do a Rat King story, a 5-page Rat King story. Awesome. So what I get to do there is just draw that as if I was getting hired, even though I know I'm not. Worst case scenario, and I've already said this before, the worst case scenario is you send it, they don't hire you. However, you just drew 5 pages of something you love. By default, you're just going to start improving because you're drawing comics as well, right? So there's no real downside to it. Sorry, Michael, just let me go back up there. I know you had a question. Where was that? Ask my opinion. You know the philosophy of animators and comic art on squash and stretch? Yep. We're showing opposing angles for dynamics and such. Yes, I do know that. Yep. Yeah, you will see part 2 of the pitch for sure. I actually totally forgot about it when I talked to you guys, so I'm gonna have to fit it into the workflow somehow. They got the Jessup King mini comic coming out, I think at the end of March or April. I want to say April. I think I give myself a little bit of time there. So April for that. Drudge is another one. That's probably gonna be April, May, June maybe for that. And then the rest of my free time is going to be put towards Squirrel God, because that's definitely got to get started. However, I got to get the Ninja Turtle thing started as well. The hard part is recording everything and talking to you guys without rambling too much, like I always tend to do. I would love to see that Rat King pitch you did. Yeah, I'm still working on it. I can show you guys some of the concept that I kind of had going for it. I don't even know where. I think I posted it online. What do I think of European I love comic books in general. I don't care where they come from. I have not read Launfaust of Troy. I don't know how to pronounce that. I have not read that, but good stuff. Illustrator probably would be faster. I don't have Illustrator, unfortunately, so I'm not able to try to use it. But normally what I do is I'll just draw in Manga Studio. I draw at 600 DPI, and then I just copy the panel, paste it into Photoshop, and then just copy the building buildings that I do or the city, and then just paste it back into Manga Studio. It's actually pretty easy. There's not too much back for. I don't like if I was still drawing in Photoshop, I probably never would use Illustrator myself. But I do know of a few people that actually draw in Illustrator to do their comics, which is awesome. Use what you like for sure. I think my buddy Cannon White used to use Illustrator quite a bit actually. Okay, let me just see here if I got TMNT. Okay, there we go. Reference, was it? Okay, so let me just bring this. I've shown this before. This was actually talked about in the video. The first thing I like to do is set up a reference folder. So what did I have for the rat? Oh, I did do it in Manga Studio Suite. Rat King. Let's take a look at him. I haven't looked at this in a while. Where are you at, buddy? Okay, I think, is this the only one we did? Turn that layer off, get those rats off of them. Okay, so this was actually a sketch I did at work one day. Oh, I guess I cut it off there. Okay, let me just turn this back on. So this was a sketch I did at work one day. What I was trying to do is just do what a lot of other artists have done on Ninja Turtles, where it's like they give the personality to the turtles. So like Raphael's hunched over a little bit. Michelangelo looks like Leonardo, but he's a little bit less muscular, maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit of a tummy. Nothing too big, but he's the one that likes the pizza party all the time and all that good stuff. But the Rat King here, I'm making him like a giant, menacing, huge mofo, right? Like the Hulk. Not the Hulk, that's probably overkill, but Colossus, maybe, that kind of style. Just a big, thick dude. That way, he looks opposing to the turtles. Plus, he looks real cool when you start putting rats on him. And I was just doing this, I think, during the one stream, just getting some texture on him, just playing around with some ideas and stuff. So we have him up there, and then, just putting little rats on him. But, yeah, he's going to be real fun to draw. I have no idea what I'm going to have him do. Probably just punching around and stuff like that to the turtles. But I definitely want to have some really cool things going on with the rats. Not sure how the turtles would fight rats. So, I don't know. I really don't think it matters. If you just got like that one awesome shot where the turtles, like all of a sudden they notice there's a lot of rats. They turn around and you got that, the money shot I'm talking about where they'll always do it in comics. Where it's like, there's the villain standing there so awesome. And everybody looks like, oh man, we're in like a lot of trouble, guys. So I think the rest of it's just trying to get that action going like that. Speaking of references, what do you think about Finch using 3D models for his art on JLA? Actually, if you have a link, I'd love to see that and post it in there. I haven't seen what you're talking about. I have heard him and a ton of other artists using 3D stuff. The one thing I did see him doing it with, I think it was X-Men, I want to say. It was something to do with vans driving on a road. Personally, I don't care. I don't think it makes anybody any less of an artist. That's a personal opinion. Probably a little bit biased because I do digital work and I've used what's it called? Google SketchUp tons of times to just set something up so fast and go through it. The one thing I will suggest for you guys, and this isn't calling anybody out or anything, but one thing to definitely be aware of is comics. It's not necessarily about being an awesome illustrator. It's about, can you meet deadlines? If you're an awesome illustrator on top of that, then you're going to go to the top. So when people use resources like this, I can't fault them because ultimately it's about giving the story to the readers. And I mean, this might make me sound like an ass to say this, but as somebody that draws a lot of comics and somebody that wishes that I could draw more comics and tell more stories, which I'm assuming most of you guys and girls in here or watching, you guys would agree. You guys want to tell awesome stories. You guys want to tell as many comic books as you can. Maybe you have your Lord of the Rings that you want to tell. Maybe you have a bunch of mini ideas that you want to do, a web comic and stuff, but you just don't have time. It takes you so long to draw. Personally, if I have to resort to going into Google SketchUp, looking up a car, getting the angle I want, pasting it into Manga Studio, and then redrawing over the car, I'll do it. I'll do it every single time. If that means that I can draw that car in 20 minutes as opposed to 2 hours getting the perspective right, it's not even a question for me. And I would say, and I mean, I hate to attack readers or anything like that, but I would say people need to relax and not be so precious about certain things. If somebody was to say, yeah, but look, all this person does is copy, I hear you. I got it. There's an argument for that. And a lot of people will go to like a guy like Greg Land who copies people and, you know, redraws over it. I get it. I get it. But these people are getting paid for a couple of reasons. Their art is selling to people. People know that they do, if you want to call it trace, and they're still willing to spend the money. And what they're in comics, especially with the big two, it's not about all the time telling really awesome ideas. It's about selling product, you know? And I love the product they sell. I love a lot of things that people sell. And, you know, if I look at somebody's work, and a perfect example is the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawn Comics, Freddie Williams. I love his work. And he's gone to lengths to show you how you can use Google SketchUp for, like, he had one example, I think it was the Justice League of America's Fortress, whatever the hell it is, and he has it made, and all he can do is change it at any angle and then export it and just load it into Photoshop, and it's drawn, it's done. Now all he does is have to draw characters over it. Personally, as a reader, I don't go over and go like, did he trace this? I don't care. If it blends well with the art and it doesn't take me out of the story, that's the least of my worries. I'm more I'm more interested in seeing really awesome drawings, and I'm really interested in story. I don't care if somebody traces myself, personally. And on that note, a lot of the artists that I do like, from what I'm aware of anyway, their style, usually that they can't trace from the style. Like Joe Madureira, I've talked to death about him. Thanks, Michael, again for hooking me up with that that link. I guess Joe Mad's going to be doing something involved with Wolverine. I'm in. You can look at his stuff, and that guy hardly draws backgrounds. And when he draws cars and stuff, they're pretty... I don't want to say they're lame, because, you know, I'm a big fan of his work. But the style that guy has, I don't know what he'd be looking for reference to trace, but I don't know. It's easy to call people out for tracing, but people don't just trace because they just want a free ride, usually, okay? If they're always caught for tracing, and I mean like literally tracing everything, and they continually get caught on it, I think that's a little bit different. But if you've got to trace a head, and then you go in and you dress it up, because you have to meet a deadline, I don't know. You got to remember these people, right? Most of them, they have families as well. It's a job. So I wouldn't be too hard on people. I find like artists have this real snobby attitude a lot of the times, where it's like they compare themselves with other artists all the time, and they always say things like, I wish I was better, and I wish I could do my own, or I wish I had the ability to actually draw my own comic and stuff right now, but I'm just going to keep practicing until I get better. But those same artists, or those same people that'll talk like that, they'll look at somebody that might use SketchUp or something and trace the background and go, oh, this guy can't draw. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But it doesn't just... That goes to a lot of things in life. It's not just comics. But I don't know where that mentality comes from. It's very venomous. I don't know. It feels like I can't talk to people that... I don't want to say believe that point, because I'd like to have a discussion with people, but like, if all I am is surrounded by people that are always like saying, oh, I would love to do this, but I can't do this, or I'd like to start, but I don't finish anything. Like, these aren't people that you should surround yourself with. You should try to surround yourself with people that are pumped to be like, I can't wait to start this. I suck at heads, but I'm going to get better. You know, like people that are passionate about getting better. Because, again, myself, if you surround yourself with that circle of people, or that peers, if you can get those people in your life, you're always surrounded with positive people, you know. And I don't know, let me just go back up there, because I know that was a little bit of a rant. I just wanted to see, because I know you posted that link. I just wanted to take a look at it. This was on Newsarama. Here we go. Copy link location. Alright, let's see what Dave Finch was caught tracing, or whatever this was. Justice League 3D art. Dave Finch uses 3D tech to create Justice League of America. Okay. I'm just looking here. I'm trying to see where it's like, are they showing anything other than like that he uses 3D stuff. What does he use, like Poser and stuff? Is that what you guys are saying? Oh wait, maybe I found something here. No, still nothing. I would have loved to have seen, like, you know, like software that he's using or something, or not that he's using, but like see something that this is a process or progress shot so you can see it. But I don't know what I saw. If I showed that to somebody, or like I just looked at that and you guys didn't tell me, I would have no idea that he used 3D stuff. To me, he's doing a very good job making it so that you don't. It's not a sneaky thing at all. You know, like I can't think people are devious or anything. To me, it looked legit. So. I think we all have a misunderstanding of what an artist is. That's what Shedrick is saying. And most of us never saw artists at work until YouTube. And I gotta agree with that point too. It's kind of like with YouTube. It's all about sharing. I mean, that's why most of you guys are interested in what I'm doing or why you come to my stuff, whether you hate my work. You know, that's cool. But just seeing how, like a different workflow, or how it's basically pulling the curtain back, you know, a little bit, and seeing how you can actually make comics and, you know, all that stuff. Lilac was saying apparently he fleshes out his characters in 3D, much like your brief rundown with Mega Studio 5 with its possible 3D modes. Honestly, you know what? I've been thinking about doing that myself, only because, and I know you guys have all been there. We can all you try your best to draw foreshortened characters and stuff, and you know, anatomy is always something you'll be struggling with till you die. You'll get better at it, but it's always something that you're never, you know, truly satisfied with. But if it's a complicated shot, if it's easier for me to get an idea, like quickly see it, I don't know, like I feel like this could be a whole discussion on something, so I don't want to, you know, get too into it, because I know I already see, while as I'm talking, that there's two arguments to this. Like, what's the point of learning how to draw if all you're going to do is use Poser or 3D models and characters and then draw over them? What's the art in that? You know, I could see that argument as well. But the part of me that keeps going back to the other one is, it's like, it's deadlines. Deadlines are crazy town. I'm telling you right now. Imagine you've got 30 days to draw 22 to 24 pages plus a cover. That's crazy. And like, I don't know how many of you people in here have actually drawn comic books, but it's an insane amount of work. So if it was your full-time job, I hope you can do a page a day. But after a while, it's just like any other job, any creative art job, anything. It's getting that mentality in your head that you have to do a page a day. Even though you're getting paid some sweet money, it's still work, and that's the hard part. Lilac is saying, I agree, I create all my characters in 3D and even rig them before I even start a comic. So there you go. Massive case of breakdown, one of those. I think the same thing. Tell me what. Okay, how do you? Okay, so we got some other questions. Sorry. Tell me what you think. Oh, sorry. How do you go about inking a costume for a character where the costume is all black? Usually, in that case, I would just start using a lot of highlights or bounce light. Reflective light. I'll show you that. What I mean in a second. I'm having trouble speaking again today, guys. Holy smokes! Oh man. Sorry to saying in this days, new types of artists now use a photo in Painter. 12 takes 30 seconds to create a painting by pressing a button, and the program can do everything. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a touchy subject. Again, I know when it comes to digital, because I've experienced it myself, there's a lot of hate. For some reason, people will attack me and other people that I know that do digital work. I haven't been this attacked, and I don't mean I'm being like destroyed, but people go out of their way to call me out or to say my work is shit or all this stuff. But when I was doing just pencils, I got like a fraction of that hate, and I don't know what it is. There's something about a mentality that people have where it's like digital isn't real or something. Like it's not real art. Like there's something I don't know what it is. I can't wrap my mind around it. But really quickly, what I'm going to do here to help you out here is I'm just going to try to draw. Let me just close all this here. Going to draw. We'll just do a torso, and we'll say it's like black leather kind of thing. So we'll just do our classic pecs here. Cool. Okay, so let's lower this down a little bit and let's get some tight line art on there. So what I would do is if I was drawing a character just like normal, even if he's got black, if the costume's all black, you know, you still need your line art because you need to know where your stuff's going to go. Just going to try to go quick with it. Give him his beefy love handle area. Okay, cool. Okay, so we would have a neck or something going up in there like that. All right, so this would be my tight line art. You know what I'm saying? So what I would do if they were all black is obviously there's going to be some heavy blacks. But always have an idea where your light source is, so we'll play it easy. Okay, we're going to have our light source coming down from the sky. Now there's two things you can do. You can be aware of a second light source that'll help break these solid shapes up, which would usually just be the opposing sides, so right here. Or what you can do is render, if you're doing, like especially digital, it'll let you do this, where I can render it with just that one light source, then I can go over and draw in white. So I can still pull that second light source out without being aware. So I'll show you a quick, or one version of doing it digital, like how I would. Just let me close up all these open pixels so it doesn't bleed out anywhere. Okay, so we're going to say that's the one light source there. So we'll just light it pretty heavy. Let's put some X's in here so we can see where this stuff's going. Light's coming in there. So a lot of this stuff's going to be blacked out. Get his abs going. Screw it, we'll just fill it black. Okay, so hopefully this feels good. And we'll get his neck going here just so it's not so open up there. Oops. Alright, so like digital lets me do this, right? So I can just have it like this. Now I can go, okay, now I want like a backlight source. So I can just grab the white, and remember where we had that arrow down there? That's what we're going to start to basically draw into. So kind of gives things a little bit of a shine. But what it's letting me do is it's letting me redraw back in the shapes that I lost by filling this guy in totally black. And this would be the same method I would use if somebody was wearing this, like if a female was wearing like latex, or like a black latex or something really shiny. I would do the exact same method, except I would start throwing in some like shines, and really instantly, honestly, it starts to look more shiny right away just by adding circles. Okay, so the only difference between what I just did there is fill it all with black and then draw with white. If you were doing this normally with traditional inking tools, just be aware of where that second light is and don't go all the way over there. So again, light sources from here. So this peck, you know, I would draw it just like we did before, except I would leave a little bit of the underline, or the underline, just like that. So I know his shadow, sorry, the shadow we had for his shoulder was pretty big, but I'm going to leave the outside of it open. So that when I fill this stuff with black, you know, it's still leaving that underline there. So I would definitely check that out. Hopefully that told you what you were looking for there. Whoops. Okay. Just want to see what you guys are saying here. And I think, I don't know if you just mashed the keyboard, but Twisty Ziggy, I don't know. Basically, he or she, they're just kind of saying what I was saying. We're going towards those people that have like a big hate or big hard on to like attack people that draw digital or whatever for whatever reason. I'm just saying they don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's just as much work in digital as anything else, and I'll obviously agree because I work digitally as well. So, question: are you self-taught or did you take classes in college? When I did go to college for an animation course. It was a 2D animation and a 3D animation course. It was 3 years, but I dropped out a year and a half into it. It just wasn't for me. I thought I would be able to tell my own stories, and maybe down the road I could, or if I was doing my own projects and stuff. But I'll tell you right now, if there's one thing that I absolutely love, like just drawing comics for, is you can be, even though you got to put in some serious time and learn it and stuff, or you know, you don't have to learn color. You can just learn black and white and just be like an actual, like a traditional artist or whatever. You can do every single step of that story. So if you can't write, your writing might be, you know, pretty crappy, but I don't know. I just like the freedom comics gives me. Shit ton of work, I'll tell you that, but I love it. So that meant if I dropped out, I had to start learning things like anatomy and stuff like that. But I was looking at anatomy books way before college. Outside of going to the comic book store and playing like Magic the Gathering and, you know, a lot of nerdy stuff. I'm not going to hide it. A lot of nerdy stuff. Dungeons and Dragons a little bit, but all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I wasn't going out and I wasn't very social at all. It was mostly just day in, day out drawing. And, you know, I still do that stuff. So even if you do go to school, I'll tell you this right now. And I'm a firm believer of this. Even if you go to school, it's not going to come close to if you continually draw every day. Hands down. So if you do go to school and you do draw every day, you're going to reap some serious benefits. But if you don't go to school, don't fret. Just continually draw, continually try to get better, and look for resources and stuff. You'll get better. You'll get where you need to go. I can guarantee it. If you honestly want it, I don't know if you'll get the jobs at the big two, if that's what you're looking for, or if you just want to tell your own comics, that's something else. But nobody's going to give you this hard work that you have to put up. Nobody's going to just go, oh, buy my video or come to my school or whatever, and you'll draw anatomy and you'll be the best you ever were, and we're done. There's so much, you know, they can show you anything, basically even like what I'm doing here. I can show you guys all this stuff, but unless you're drawing or actually retaining any of the things that, if I am helping you out at all, I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but it's in your better interest to actually apply what you want to do. So, but yeah, long story short, no. So I dropped out and just started getting heavy into comics. I couldn't get enough. I was just reading comics, drawing comics, getting into like web comics, like finding out and figuring out like how you can work as an independent. What kind of business things should you try doing? This guy looks like he's falling over, so I'm gonna rotate him around. Always trying to do research, really. Looking online for resources for like new anatomy books, what people were talking about online, like, oh, check out this new artist, look at that style, nobody draws like him. When like Invincible came out, God, that guy can draw. Sorry, let me go back there. Sayart. Sorry, I forget. Okay, let me just scroll up because I think you were talking a little bit before something before you. Use, what? Something about, okay, it's very different from what is considered art today and what was once digital art and traditional art. Had a lot in common, but many people consider digital art as a cheat and will not recognize digital artists as a true artist. And this is a mistake, but will not last long because times are changing and digital art is becoming more common and more people can afford to buy a drawing program. Totally agree again. And the other thing as well, the thing a lot of people need to remember is like you can literally look anywhere and a lot of things are going digital. I'm not saying that's going to get rid of traditional art. I don't want it to. So what people can do with a pencil, you know, and there's still something magical about sitting down to a real piece of paper and getting that sound, that feel, that the lead or the ink on the side of your hand. There's something magical about that. Never want that to go away. But you know, for a production and business and money standpoint, there's things that digital will definitely benefit you in those ways. And I'll just leave it like that. I'm not saying you'll make more money or you'll do better work digital. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there are tools out there that can help you achieve these things if you find that you need, if you're looking for something else. If you could draw traditionally, but you're like, man, you know, I'm tired of scanning. I'm tired of all this, you know, all that kind of stuff. So there's benefits to both. Michael's asking how many more pages do I have of the standard? 10 more pages for this issue, and this will be issue 4. And then I've got 2 more issues left of the standard, so that's what? 60 minus 4, so 56 pages left. God. So 56, so essentially 64 pages in total, including what I'm doing. God, we'll get there. Hey Lilac, if I'm helping anybody draw, awesome. You guys are helping me draw too, so it's all good. Have you ever seen a true artist architectural perspective? Crazy town. Absolutely crazy town. With the opening of Comixology's Indie Submit, you have every chance of getting your stuff out, people, and can get paid as long as you can get a following. Totally agree. Good Lord, yeah, I know. It's cool though, like when you can look back and look at all like the pages and stuff you've done. Like here, I'll just open you guys real quick in Manga Studio. These are all the pages I did so far, just in Manga Studio. I did them before, but I had the saving. I saved them wrong, but it's always cool. And I mean, this is one of the awesome things about Manga Studio is you can make a story with as many pages, add pages, take away pages as you want, move things around. Like if I wanted page 10 to come before page 12, I can move it around just by clicking and dragging. And when you export it, it'll all stay there, which is really slick. But what I do every now and then, which is, I don't know if it's ego boosting or something, but like sometimes I get down, I'm like, ugh, you know, like I don't want to do this anymore. But then I can just quickly just click this tab and I can see all the pages I've already done, and it's like, all right, get back to it, you know. And you can do it with any project you want, so it's pretty cool to be able to do stuff like that. I gotta read the script here. I don't know what's going on, but the stream's almost over. We got about 7 minutes left, so I want to open it up to you guys as well here. We got 7 minutes. Anything you guys want me to draw, if you guys need any help, you want me to show you something, please just fill it with the chat, and leave it open for you guys there, at least for the last 10 minutes. I'll get a blank page ready for you guys, and we'll get the party started. You want a She-Hulk, everybody. Still need that sexy April. I'll tell you guys right now, I know for sure I'm going to have the Turtles in that comic. April O'Neil is going to be in the comic, and Casey Jones will definitely be in there. But April, I'm not sexing her up. I'm not having her tits hanging out of her like jumpsuit. Even though in the comics it was weird, man. I was like flipping through the old comics and even the cartoon. It's like that stuff was pretty open, you know. And I don't know. It's like I've said it before. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy looking at sexy women in art and stuff. Everybody loves, like, there's something visually appealing about the female. Nobody's gonna deny that. But when it comes to drawing it, it's like I don't even care. And it's weird. And this will make it'll totally start putting me into like another light. It's like I would much rather draw muscle men than hot, sexy women. How crazy is that? A draw. I can do what the hell? We'll do a dwarf or something. I don't know. Just something here. The other part there, probably not going to have that. I don't know what we're going to do for a dwarf. It's a blob shape. Yeah, we'll just do a face. Keep it simple. What do we got? We got some hate going on here. What do we got here? The anatomy in his arm is hideous. What are we talking about? Oh, I think somebody posted something in here, and I think I skipped it. Started coloring the guy I sketched up last night, but it's not entirely... Okay, let's see what you got here. Let us take a look. Started coloring, but you're not happy with it, and you're still going. Okay. Copy link, location. And pasty paste. Right, yeah, you were posting this Monday. It was awesome. You know what's funny? I don't know if you are into anime or if you play video games. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's cool, but I'll say it in case you do. Your shading and stuff and the coloring style that you have in the pants, it reminds me of anything by like Atlas. They do games like Etrian Odyssey, Persona, that stuff. But it also looks a little bit like Ocarina of Time, like that Zelda game. And I don't even think you'd need shading or rendering. You've got that you've got like a Hellboy style kind of going on there with like the colors. But it looks awesome. As for the arm, the anatomy is messed up in the bicep for sure. But I don't think I'd go as far as what Shed's saying, where it's hideous. And I'll be honest, Shed, I don't think you should probably say anything's hideous about anybody's stuff. And I'm not trying to be like the, stand up for everybody, but there's a little bit more constructive ways. I don't know if you can go back to coloring this or not, but if you want, I could quickly just do a quick draw over of the arm, just to show. It's actually a quick fix to fix that. Because everything else is fine. The forearm's fine. Everything's fine. Just you have the bicep in an angle where it wouldn't be. That's all. Too many artist lies. See. I don't know. I'm not going to get into a big debate with you, but I know there's tons of people that'll say how you say it, which is cool. I think people need to be out there and saying whatever they want, just like you're saying it. If you're going to say something sucks, that's cool, but at least give them a reason why to get better. At least try to help. The way I look at it is somebody could send me something that sucks. Let's all be honest here. Something sucks. And there's a way that you could say it sucks and leave it, or you could say it sucks, here's what I would do, or at least offer them the reason, tell them what to do. What you're doing, unfortunately, is you're just saying it sucks, just stop. And like what you said right there, I told him he started strong and finished weak. That's cool. No problems with that. But if you're not going to... I haven't read the chat, so you guys may have had a discussion about how to fix it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy this. And we're going to pasty paste. Move, please. Alright, just let me get the layer. Change layer type. Cool. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. It's Inkbot. So I'm just going to show you real quick. So what you have going on here, I'm not going to criticize all the anatomy and the stylistic stuff because whatever. But right here, the way you have the arm drawn, it should be going this way. So you'd have his forearm, you got your bicep and stuff like that. That's the way that the biceps lined up, the way that you got it. All you need to do, let me just zoom in a little bit, is this line right here, and it looks like you're already doing this digitally, so you could just get rid of that line and instantly it would be better. So what I would do too is just have a line here where your bicep comes and then probably just pop it out just like that. Let's see if we can erase it. This might make it stand out a little bit too much, so I apologize. But probably go like that, and then you've got a tricep back here, which is great, but now you get some more of the other tricep, like that, and I'm not going to get into the forearm. I like to render the hell out of the forearms, but so just a quick fix like this. Just get rid of that line, and let me just make it black again. I probably should have did this in Photoshop, but just erase this so you can see it a little bit better. So it'd be something like that. I know that stands out probably like a sore thumb, but that's all you got to do, and it's instantly fixed. At least for the anatomy on that. Yeah. Cool. Well, it looks like we've been over the hour, so I'm going to say thank you now, and I'll stick around for about 5 minutes after the show just to hang out with you guys and stuff. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for the late start. We were having the technical difficulties and stuff, and hopefully I'll be able to upload this to YouTube tomorrow so you guys can watch as well. Or if you're watching the recorded version in the live stream right here on livestream.com or whatever the hell the website is, thank you so much for stopping by again, guys. Every Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week, okay? So keep reading comics. Keep making comics, enjoy your weekend, and I hope you guys are working on your own books, or if you work with clients, or if you're just trying to get your portfolio a little bit better. I hope you guys are still creating, and share it, because just like what happened right here with Ink, you know, Inkbot, it helps everybody when everybody can see what's going on, and it gives everybody a different perspective on things and stuff like that. So thank you guys once again. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.